Welcome back to Sports Birthday to another NBA Ballers League edition of Sports First. That is, as most of y'all probably knew, that the Warriors dropped a ball yesterday. So did the Cellies or the Celtics. I mean, the Warriors was terrible, but the Bucks was just bad. I mean, I guess you could say both are terrible because I mean the freaking Gabagoos as the Celtics, they could have easily. I mean, I don't know about easily, but would have been slow and I guess a slow process of winning because all they had to do was just pretty much keep getting fouled and go to the line. It was like 14 or so left. Later on, we're gonna actually watch the very end of that game because that was just terrible. I mean, they were up by what, like 13-14 at 13-14 at like 10 minutes. They actually had a lead before that too. It was like the second or something. Even though in the first the Bucks had a pretty good start, it was like 9-0 ish or something like that, and then they started dropping the threes and everything. And obviously, for all the stuff he did, Marcus Smart got criticized, for that. For the two defensive, I mean, Drew just played really good defense and not so great offense from from Marcus Smart, as you will see in not too long if you haven't seen. Um, But the Warriors, man, that was a terrible. Pretty much from the well, not from the get go, but like second quarter, you just saw that it was bad, and it was like 24 points. Then it just kept getting bigger and bigger. I think it got like 50 something at the very. I mean, it was still pretty at the end. It's still pretty bad, but I don't know if it ever got 60, but holy moly, it was bad. I didn't even actually. I mean, come on, nobody comes back from that big of a freaking lead. Even though that this generation of NBA, like, teams come back from can come back from 30 point, being 30 down. Even though that's still hard to come back. But a playoff game, it's I can't remember if a team has come back that big, during a game. Um, but yeah, that was terrible. Just the turnovers. Nothing was really like every other freaking play. Even though I didn't catch the full third and full fourth, just the first and second. I mean, even when they were playing pretty decent in the first, it just looked horrible. I mean, even though I had them, I predicted that Celtics would win, Warriors would win. Um, I think I had Suns winning, and I had 76ers winning. So a lot of bad picks lately. I think I had Suns winning this one too. I thought a couple of these series would actually be over by Thursday or by Wednesday, which I was wrong. Actually, I think I already predicted that. I forget if I predicted the Suns would win today and the 76ers would win today if the series had kept going, but obviously they still are. And I'm pretty sure I've already picked those series, so I'm pretty much picking tomorrow's games, Fridays and Saturdays and everything, because I'm sure I did the Thursday ones. But bad game from the Mavericks on the what was that, Tuesday. But all around, I mean, I feel like the Suns could have pulled it off on what was that, the Sunday game. But Jalen Brown was just going JB Smooth was just playing too smooth basketball, to be honest. To be frank with y'all. Um, and the Grizzlies, man, the other thing is they don't have John Morant, and they're still doing this. But with Desmond Bain, man, I've been saying this. They have one of the toughest squad. I mean, not toughest squads, deepest squads in the NBA. But I still chose to go against him because of the experience level with the Warriors. You know, you got what, three championship guys. Actually, more than three. Iguodala, I think Iguodala is injured though, but got a lot of championship experience. Steve Kerr was out, but I feel like sometimes if a team's just been together so long, you know, they're with Mike Brown, they just pretty much, you know, it's really nothing. I feel unless in-game situations, you know, like where they're down bad and all that stuff. But I think Steve Kerr will be back for the next one. He's got that cover related. And last week I messed up by saying Dylan Brooks was what did I say, Dylan? I said I think it was COVID related. It wasn't. I mean, I hate when I forget stuff, little stuff like this. It was obvious that he was. It was the Payton situation, you know, Gary Payton II. When he smacked him upside the head and he fell down and he pretty much, I think it was broke his wrist, or I'm sure it was wrist. See, I don't want to. I know it was wrist. I'm 100. It wasn't anything else because just the way he went down. But I'm saying I'm 100. But I thought I was actually. I don't think I ever said I was 100 on his situation. I wasn't clear on his situation. But he actually came back for the game that I thought he wasn't gonna be there for. He actually was there. Um, but yeah, Dylan. It wasn't really like I keep saying. Dylan Brooks is not 100%, which if people don't know, that's the main reason why he's not playing so great. I mean, if Dylan Brooks was 100 and they had John Morant, I think they would be my favorites to win the whole thing because Dylan Brooks is a whole different animal. I seen somebody on like TikTok or Twitter or something um, posting something. I didn't really find it funny, but it said that he pretty much viewed himself as like as good or as great as MJ and what everybody else seen was a bad player. I didn't even know who the other player was, but because Dylan Brooks is actually really freaking good when he's healthy. You know, don't expect any player to be really that freaking good when they're injured. You know. Um, but yeah, so like when Dylan Brooks is on, he's on me. So he's playing through injury, and there's he's still not bad compared to other players, but Phoenix 76ers situation. Man, I really expected him to win that game. What was that? Tuesday game. Yeah, and I was like, man, they're gonna actually have the 3-2, but the Miami Heat showed up and they pretty much bullied them. With the defense they're putting on Joel Embiid, it's just like it. They know he has a sight situation. The eye situation or the orbital situation. So it's like freaking A. They just pretty much been like bullying him up. And I mean, what can the guy do? He really can't do too much. So, I mean, really, it's supposed to be on, with just him being there, it's really supposed to be Harden. And Harden he actually did have a bad game this time. I can't back him up. But he did have a bad game again, and Maxey didn't have the greatest game, but still, other players do have to show up as well. If Danny Dimes isn't there, then it's pretty much downhill. But I am trying to make it short, so I'm going to go ahead and go with the freaking gabagoos and then the picks, and then we're going to watch that little highlight. Tomorrow's games, Friday, Saturday, we don't have any games, but I guess there's a good chance we're going to get these game sevens. I believe that we probably will. Probably. I believe this one we are, but I don't know about this one right here. This game 7 for the Warriors, whatchamacallit. So today I'm pretty sure I've already called this, so I'm not even going to bring it up. So tomorrow, Celtics versus Bucks. Since the games have all been close, I think there was one that wasn't close. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Celtics, and hopefully this time they don't mess it up. So that means the series will be 2-2, and then they're going to go to Game 7 in Milwaukee. Man, just how dominant Giannis has been and how dominant he is Man, there's so many good players right now, but it's watching him throughout these series and throughout the regular season and last season. It's hard not to say that he's the best player in the world. But man, there is, like I said, there's Embiid, who's such a good player. There's Jokic, who's a player, good player. LeBron's still playing pretty good, and then you got Luka, who's playing good. There's so many good players that sometimes it's hard to say. And you got KD, but even though KD had a somewhat mediocre postseason, like I said, pretty much. I don't know what I'm trying to say, or trying to get to the point where he's pretty much honest the best player on the planet. Um, but yeah, so having him, I feel like I should go ahead and say that they just win Game 6, and it doesn't even get to Game 7. But I'm sticking with my guns, like I did with New York, which is a bad idea. I pretty much 4 games in a row I went with New York, lost every single one, or got every single one wrong, and the Celtics won out the series. So I'm gonna go with the Celtics in 2 games, and I say they get the Bucks in Game 7. I don't think it's gonna be like blowouts or anything, but with Chris Middleton not being there, I don't know if he is. Then if he comes back, then Game 7 is Bucks. But yeah, so I got Celtics winning out the series. Grizzlies versus Warriors. The series has somewhat been strange because the Grizzlies has a big win and the Warriors have a really big win. Actually, the Grizzlies have the really big win and the Warriors had the big one. But that Warriors one was actually when Ja first went down. Even even though I just said all that, I mean, see, this series is like I just said, strange, very strange. But I'm gonna go with the Warriors for this one. I think I pretty much went with Warriors the majority of this. Oh no, actually, originally I was going with the Grizzlies. But next series, Luka Doncic, Spencer Dinwiddie, and JB. Can they actually stop them on May 15th? I don't believe so. Oh, that's where I missed. I was wondering how did I already get to Game 7? I'm gonna go ahead and say that Mavericks are done with, even though that they have a really good squad. But I just feel like the Suns, they kind of want it a bit more. So Suns win Game 6. If it goes to Game 7, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Suns again. Even though I feel like they can, I mean, it's not that hard to believe that the freaking Mavericks can pull it off with three really good options and a bunch of outside shooters, as in freaking Bullock, Dorian Finney-Smith, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing somebody. Is it Batons? I think that's Batons. So I already pretty much went. I already got 76ers Heat. I don't think I actually did. I choose Game 6. Game 6, man. With Joel just not being in the right position or just not feeling the way he is, and James Harden, man, I kind of want to go with the 76ers, but I'm going to go against my pick, and I'm going to go ahead and go with the Heat and say they win, and that's the series. And if it has to go there again, this time I'm actually going to go with 76ers. If they can actually pull off today's game, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Heat. I think I might have just done this twice, but whatever. I don't believe that the Grizzlies one is actually going to go to Game 7, nor the Suns one. The two that I feel like are going to go are Heat versus 76ers. Actually, the only one I really truly believe that's going to go to 7 games is this Bucks Celtics. And I believe that, yeah, so I don't really believe that any of these are actually going to get past. I believe this one is. But it's Eastern semis, technically still playoff games. And then Western semis. I mean, these games are supposed to be, tough for every single, team that's involved. But not from what the Warriors showed yesterday, though. Let's go ahead and look at that clip real quick. See, this is where disappointing by. I don't think you'll be able to hear me when I start playing it. So yeah, let's see the disappointment.
Missed it. Portis got it. Portis puts it up. And it goes! And Milwaukee is in front.
Yeah, see, they, when Giannis missed that, obviously you could see 11.4. They would have still had they still had the chance of winning the game easily. All they need to do is get the rebound, and I mean, I don't know if I could blame Marcus Smart. Let's see if we can rewind that a little bit.
1. Series tied at 2. 1. Series tied. Portis puts it up.
You see here, Marcus Smart actually gets a hand on it, but there's Drew right there, and then there's Bobby Portis. And it looks like, I don't know if that's Hal Horford, who that is.
Portis got it. Portis puts it up. And it...
Yeah, see, Marcus, it looks like Marcus, this is what, every time they kept showing it on TV, it looks like Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown hit each other, and Marcus Smart might have had a really good chance at getting the ball. Let's see it again.
Missed it. Portis got it. Portis puts it up. And it goes!
Wow, they actually do hit each other because they both go over. Actually, JB hits Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, I'm 100% would have gotten it. Let's see it again.
Missed it. Portis got it. Portis puts it up. And it goes! And Milwaukee is...
That's crazy. That would have... I mean, I remember watching it, like, when they kept showing that part, I'm just, like, looking at him, like, would that have done something? Could Marcus Smart have gotten that? He would have gotten that because, I mean, he literally had the ball pretty much in his hand. And, obviously, if a Bucks player with him, that would have been a foul. And I don't think anybody would want that from the Bucks side. But let's watch it real quick again. I mean, dang, that's crazy how that situation right there could have changed. I mean, they shouldn't be in this situation anyways, but obviously Giannis couldn't be stopped. And, I mean, the Bucks could be in a really good situation, too, if Giannis, as Stan Van Gundy says, should be taking those threes. I mean, last season, during the playoffs, he was actually really good at shooting the three. But this series, or just these playoffs, he hasn't been really that great. I mean, they showed the numbers during the game. They just weren't the greatest. But,
missed it. Portis got it. Portis puts it up. And it goes! And Milwaukee is in front.
I mean, as you can see, then there's that Drew play. But even in that second play, Drew actually does get close to Marcus Smart too. But so technically, that's what, like 1, 2. And here's 3 different defensive plays from Drew that just... Well, not this one. This one he gets... See, they still had a chance here because he makes that one. But then becomes a 3. Well, this would have just... They pretty much had a chance of tying it. Now, this is where it all gets really... Pretty much this is the end of it. This would have just been for the tie, but who knows if they would have made that. And Drew comes in. There you go. That's pretty much how the game ended. Terrible. And that was at home, which even makes it, I guess, a little bit worse. But, yeah, that's how it all ended yesterday. I mean, just terrible from the Boston Celtics, who should have won. And the Warriors, I don't know, felt like they should have done some, Like Steph Curry said, whip that trip, whip. Yeah, they got whipped. Yeah, that's going to be it for today. And pretty much called all the games. Probably won't be back till Monday since I've already called all these games. And that's when the Eastern Finals and Western Finals will start. And then I make some prediction on theirs. And that should be fun. I might make one earlier and just talk about the games because I've pretty much done all the predictions for these, these playoff games. But yeah, sabotage out, ladies and gentlemen. There's a dab for you right there. Yes, dab still exists.